recovery. Seems like what we've seen in the market is something that is managing as of now as well. Nifty trading at the day's highest point to 22,300 levels is what's at the Nifty holding on to. Now, obviously, mid and small cap that's managing to hold on to good gains, performing mid cap performing in line with the benchmark, but small cap that's clearly seeing an outperformance. Stocks that have been holding on to good gains is obviously when you look at it, Bharti, Airtel, Infosys, Reliance among the top contributors for the Nifty 50, as well as TCS and L&T holding on to gains, while Nifty Bank also managing to see good performance there. Other than that, let's talk about some of these individual names. Nestle clearly down and out after we are seeing pressure that has been coming in because of the word that came in terms of added sugar for their infant food. Now, overall, milk nutrition as well as that business accounts to around 40%. Overall, milk and nutrition side of the business accounts to around 40% of their revenues. So, important part that comes in from there. Plus, royalty hike was there, inflation was there. So, because of that, Nestle today clearly under pressure, down almost 3.4% as of now. Earnings impact coming for ICICI Lombard as well as the commentary that came in from ICICI Lombard that was key to watch out for. 4.7% uptick there. Just Dial managing to hold on to good gains after its earnings, 11-12% uptick, and Angel One also a good set of numbers from the company. Q4 updates also Brigade as well as Suntec Realty managed to see good growth in terms of overall the pre-sales numbers that has come in. So on the back of the Q4 updates, we're seeing Brigade as well as Suntec Realty managing to hold on to gains. And on the back of brokerage radar today, we did have Power Grid, Hitachi, Schneider Electric that are seeing a bit of an up move. And other than that, tie-ups that have happened today, Talbros that is up 5%, while Sterling and Sterling Tools also in focus because they have signed an MOU with South Korea's company, and that is keeping the stock in focus. Let's pull up some of these telecom names, right? Today, they are seeing Vodafone Idea, Indus Towers, as well as Bharti Airtel. Vodafone Idea, obviously the FPO, and with that, we're seeing Indus Stars that's in focus. But we do have a note that came in from IIFL today where they've upgraded Vodafone Idea to a buy, target price of 14 rupees. Indus Stars also upgraded to a buy and a target price increased to around 379 rupees, while Bharti Airtel also is something that they are positive on. But to talk more about that, we're joined by Balaji Subramanian, Telecom Analyst at IIFL Securities, joining in with us. Mr. Subramanian, thank you so much for joining in with us this afternoon on ET Now. And surely, you seem like quite a lot of positive flows that you expect coming in from the telecom sector. We hear that, Jio Platforms will soon be coming out with its IPO as well. How are you seeing overall the telecom sector in terms of the tariff hikes? How do you see that shaping up for the sector as a whole?
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me on the show. As far as tariff hikes are concerned, I think we should have them sometime in the second half of this calendar year. If you look at recent past, we have had tariff hikes once in every 2 years. And so we had something in the end of 2019, then we had another round in the end of 2021. And one would have expected something to happen by the end of 2023, but I think with elections happening in the first half of 2024, the next round of tariff hike should happen pretty soon after the elections. So that means that there will be an across the board positivity for all players. Especially Vodafone Idea, who needs it the most, while Bharti and Reliance Jio will also see their margins and return ratios improving, and of course Indus being linked to Vodafone Idea's prospects. Improved financials for Vodafone Idea would mean that Indus will also benefit both in terms of tower additions, also on working capital, and more importantly with the fundraise happening for Vodafone Idea, some of the survival prospects of Vodafone Idea also have significantly brightened. So I would say these are there are a number of factors which has resulted in pretty strong performance bothered by the telecom stocks.
But before I come to stock-specific discussion, I wanted to just complete the point on tariff hikes that you're talking about. Do you think the positivity is already priced in and hence the risk is more skewed on the downside, that the street is already factoring in those two price hikes in the numbers?
So I wouldn't think so. I think one round of tariff hikes post the elections was definitely factored in. But with the government being firmly behind Vodafone Idea and considering the fact that Vodafone Idea needs significant revenue improvement to compete in the market, and also considering the fact that the ARPU in India, even if you benchmark it against other emerging markets, is pretty low as a percentage of the consumption basket. So I think, it is more of a normalization in terms of where the telecom spending as a percentage of GDP was a few years back. So I think, the second round of price increase, which also is required, that was probably not getting factored in earlier, which is what is driving the current rally.
Right. I just want to understand, if this is going to be the tariff hikes that you talk about, that would benefit most in terms of obviously for Bharti and Jio. So in terms of a pecking order that you would have to look at in the telecom space, what would you be looking at? How would the pecking order go for you?
P and Geo will obviously benefit, and because they have a pretty sizable proportion in terms of Geo, it's 100%, and in terms of Bharti, it is between 70 and 75% of subscribers on 4G. So this is most likely going to be an across the board tariff hikes, and when the 4G tariffs go up, Bharti and Geo will both benefit. The same is the case for Vodafone also, and if you look at and Vodafone also, especially in terms of the stock price performance, will benefit from the fact that the government is firmly behind and the fundraising plans are on, and at least they have some strategy to ensure that the subscriber loss which they have been seeing all this while, that kind of gets arrested, and then the tariff hike flow through benefit will also be applicable to them.
Before I let you go, what's your own estimate of the timeline of the Jio platform's IPO? Because you're clearly factoring that in. And secondly, what's the thesis of recommending a subscribe to Vodafone, FPO for the retail investors?
So on Jio platforms IPO, see, I don't have a concrete timeline, but my sense is that it should happen sometime in calendar 2025. And secondly, on Vodafone Idea, why I have a subscribe to the FPO. So I think at the FPO price band of rupees 10 to 11, the downside clearly looks limited. And you will also most likely have a flurry of positive news coming along in terms of tariff hikes happening in the second half of this calendar, and also there is a possibility of some kind of relief on the AGR dues, especially considering that the Supreme Court has allowed the telcos to file a curative petition, and the curative petitions were already filed in October. So there is also some expectation of some sort of reduction in the liability, because even if you look at it in the past, the telcos had clearly stated that there were calculation errors in DOT's approach, and if some of that gets reconciled, it will be a positive not just for Vodafone Idea but for Bharti Airtel as well.
Okay, on that note, Balaji, we'll let you go. Thanks so much for making time and speaking with us today. So that's the view coming in on the telecom sector. An upgrade coming in from IIFL saying that 2 price hikes is what they are anticipating over the course of next 3 years, and has been clearly overdue from an industry point of view. But from
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.